guys, today I have such a good pep talk for you. So excited. All right, you're almost over on Facebook. Let me hit that go live button. We don't need a title, we'll put that in later. Perfect. All right, Facebook's doing its magic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys are joining us for the first time, please let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the live stream, I love to see where you guys are coming in from. So first and foremost, happy Travel Advisor Day. It's May 6th at the time of this filming, so kudos to you, everyone out there who's already a travel professional, travel entrepreneur. It's our day, and today we have an amazing topic for you. I really, sometimes I have other topics planned and then something pops into my world, and today we're going to be talking about success and fear, and really it's a straight up pep talk to get you really excited about where you are in your business, and talking to you about what I've done differently along the way that you can do too to skyrocket your business, right? And what kind of generated this whole thing is someone asked me the other day, they said, Cyndi, what do you think has been the biggest difference in what motivates you? How have you been able to create these 6- and 7-figure businesses through your career and live this lifestyle where you can work when you want, travel when you want, and do all this cool stuff? And I didn't really have an answer at the time, but the question just kept rolling around in my head, like, do I do something different? What is it that I do different? How am I programmed differently somehow, where I've been able to drive success in businesses over and over again? And it brought me back to a sad story in my childhood that I've never shared before. And I don't want to share it to make you sad, but I want to share it so you can understand what I see as the thing that is different and how I make decisions differently in my business. So that is what we're talking about today, and I'm going to tell you how you can replicate that same success. And it's not just about the 6- and 7-figure businesses, it's about the lifestyle, creating the life that you want, and getting the things that you want out of life now more than ever. I think that as we're, hopefully over halfway through this crazy pandemic, where a lot of us are reflecting right now on where we are and what we want to do, and all of those big questions, right? This time of reflection, there's big things coming out of it. So today, big pep talk right now. So if this is the first time you're tuning in, my name is Cyndi Williams. I'm known as the Wanderlust CEO because I help people build their own portable, profitable travel businesses. And I have been in the industry for over 25 years. I have a huge passion for travel. And I always say my purpose in life is to motivate and inspire people to follow their bliss into abundance, right? And that's not something that like I just made up. That was through years of reflection, what I wanted to dedicate my life to, and what we're really going to be talking about today, like how did that become my life's purpose, to motivate and inspire and to wake people up into moving forward in their dreams. So it's really spot on. I always share a few fun things at the beginning if you're new to the show. First and foremost, have a huge love for travel. That's kind of obvious, but I always share a cute coffee mug. Today we have, do you guys remember this guy from your childhood? Is it Smokey the Bear? Was that his name? Only you can prevent wildfires. We got this at Fort Wilderness in Disney, so that's the one we have today. And I always share some I love cute earrings. These ones I got in California, so all kinds of fun things happening on the show today. But without further ado, let's get right into today's topic. Gosh, this is it's a tough story to tell, so hopefully I can get through it without too many tears. But why do I wake up obsessed every day with living life? Why do I wake up obsessed every day with living my best life? The story really starts in my childhood. When I was 10 years old, and I can remember this day. I was thinking about this morning as I was like prepping my notes, because I decided to change the topic today because I just felt inspired to talk about this. I can remember this day like it was yesterday. Do you guys have like those memories that are like crystal clear in your mind because they were a defining moment in your life? I was 10 years old, and we were supposed to have a Girl Scout event in my house, and all these people were supposed to be coming over. And so my mom and all of us were up super early. It was like 6 in the morning on a Saturday, and we were all hustle bustle getting ready for this Girl Scout thing that was about to happen, and the phone rang. And I can remember, like, do you remember those 80s phones where you took them off the wall and they had like the spiral cord? Like, it's in slow motion in my mind. I remember my mom picking up the phone, she said hello, and then I just remember like seeing the like blood drain from her face, like her going pale, and she said, "Is this a joke?" Like, I could hear almost anger in her voice. And I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get through this without tears. She turned to my dad and she said, "Teresa was killed in a car accident." Teresa was my stepsister, y'all. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna cry. I didn't practice. We didn't do role play with this today. So, and it was the first and only time I've ever seen my dad cry, drop to his knees, and he just, you know, cried. So at 10 years old, you know, that happened. It was a very, I mean, Teresa was 19 when this happened. She was supposed to get married in like 2 months. And it was a hard, of course it was hard, like it was devastating. She was supposed to get married. We had to bury her in her wedding dress, right? Guys, this was my introduction to death. This was my introduction to life isn't promised. This was my introduction to you might not get tomorrow, right? And so at 10 years old, I became acutely aware at how valuable every day is, and how tomorrow isn't promised, and how you have to seize every day. And, you know, in that pain, there's a gift later in life. Of course, when you're going through that, it's super, super difficult. God, I haven't talked about that, I don't think, as an adult ever. But I wanted to share it with you guys today because my purpose is to motivate and inspire people to follow their bliss into abundance. And this is part of what I need to shake you up, right? A year after that happened, my mom got gravely ill. She got really, really sick, and she was in hospital for 2 to 3 years. And I basically grew up in hospitals. Thankfully, my mom is still with us, so let me put that out there. She didn't pass away, but she literally died on the table, and they had to bring her back because both her lungs collapsed at one point. But she had a very rare muscle disease. She still has it, and it went undiagnosed. So for years, we were in the hospital, in and out of intensive care. Hospital gave us the special parking pass, you know, of the we think your mom's probably gonna die kind of thing. Like as an 11, 12-year-old, you can kind of read the signals. But going through that process with my mom and living on the edge of, is she gonna stay, is she gonna go every day, was a difficult childhood. And I grew up in hospitals, guys. Like, I saw people check in and not check out. I saw families every day crying over loved ones. I saw people that, you know, came in and things looked promising, but they didn't leave. So this was my childhood. And you can say, oh my gosh, it's so sad, like you missed out on your childhood. And yes, I probably did miss out on some happy things. I still had a very loving, I mean, I was very cared for from that perspective, but how did that change me? How did that change my chemistry as a person, that it helps me navigate and make changes differently and make decisions differently in my life? And the truth is, being acutely aware that life isn't promised and that there might not be tomorrow, there's no guarantees, right? Friends, here's the difference between how I process things as I evaluate and how others process. I am more fearful of a life unfulfilled than I am of making any decision about growing a business, buying a program, taking a class, jumping out with starting a business that may or may not work. I'm not afraid of that stuff. I am way more fearful of a life unfulfilled. And in my core, that is why these things have unfolded in my life, because my fear works for me. It doesn't work against me, right? And it's so easy to, you know, get into patterns of fear. Like, that's a normal thing. We all deal with that. But can you get it to work for you instead of against you? Because a lot of people get trapped into, I'm fearful because this might happen. I'm fearful because of, you know, that what if I lose this, or what if this doesn't happen, or what if it doesn't all turn out perfectly? I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I'm worried about the life unfulfilled, which is why I've made, let me try this business, let me do this, let me travel the world at 19, right? Let me do all these things. I want you to be more afraid of a life unfulfilled than you are of doing whatever it is that you know you are passionate about doing. Whatever that thing is, you want to be a chef, you want to be a gardener, you want to be you have a travel business and do what I do, you want to be the president of the United States. I don't know what your dream is, but whatever it is, why are you not running towards it like your hair is on fire? Because you might not be here tomorrow. And now more than ever in the middle of this pandemic, as all of you, if you're watching the news, we don't watch a lot of news at our house, but if you're watching a lot of news, you're seeing death tolls every day, right? And when I see those scary death tolls, it's not to take it lightly ever, because especially if you've been impacted or you have a loved one that has been a victim to this pandemic. But what I think is, did they get to do everything they wanted to do? Did they show up and leave it all on the table? Were there things on that bucket list that they just thought there would be time to do later? Right? Like, that's what I think when I see those numbers. And yes, we're gonna get through this. I promised a pep talk. I'm not trying to bring the vibe down here, guys, but this is what I want to do to shake you up and wake you up and live my life's purpose, which is motivate and inspire you to follow your bliss into abundance. I want you to use this as an example of how you should live your life going forward, right? Teresa didn't get past 19. She didn't get the wedding at Disney. She didn't get all the stuff that I've got to enjoy, right? But I don't do her memory justice if I don't like take the world by its horns, right? And neither do you, right? Feeling bad and feeling sad, that energy, it's okay to feel empathetic. We should all feel empathetic. But in your life right now, those things you have been sitting on that you know you want to do in your life, whether it's a business, whether it's tracking down the love of your life, whether it's, you know, whatever the thing is, you should be doing that. And that's what I want you to think about. I want you to lean into life. I want you to fear the unfulfilled life and let it fuel you. Let it become your fuel. Because I unknowingly, right, I really had to like really reflect on, how do I process differently? That when that person asked me that question, when I sat back and thought about it, you know, in our Gold Digger programs, I've talked a lot about my mom, and that's a big part of my journey, her being ill. But recognizing as a child, you know, kind of being faced with that big stuff early on, it just taught me in my core, right? That, and that's my place of fear, but my fear works for me. So if you can let that concept be the thing that drives you, now your fear becomes your fuel and you make better decisions. Now your fear becomes a motivator. What if you, I mean, most of you guys that follow me are travel people, right? So it's kind of like, you know, the only difference between me and everybody else out there is their fear holds them back from trying, right? So my fear keeps me obsessed with living. So I want your fear to work for you too. If you get one trip, when I say everybody, a lot of people that are in the travel industry follow me. What if this is your one trip to Earth, y'all? What if this is your one time you get to come here? Right, if you're gonna spend a whole bunch of money and you're going to go to Europe and you're gonna do a 3-week tour, are you gonna go over there and, you know, stay in the hotel all day? Are you gonna go in there and work? Are you gonna work every day and not go out and see the sights? Are you going to stay huddled in a circle of, you know, just a bubble? No, you're gonna get out and explore. This is your one trip to Earth. I'm here to tell you, PSA, attention. This is your one time you get to come here. So what are you doing with your trip here? What are you doing with your life here, right? When I look back on my life, I'm not super old, let's be honest, but the fact is I started traveling, you guys, at 19, right? When my mom started feeling better, straight out of high school, I went to travel school. And if I kick the bucket tomorrow, if my trip to planet Earth ends tomorrow, I have danced under waterfalls. I have eaten beignets with my best friend in a windstorm at Cafe Du Monde. Can you get that visual in? I have, you know, gone down Venice in a gondola ride. I have enjoyed cafes in Paris. I have gone up the Swiss Alps, right? I've watched the sunrise at the top of Haleakala Crater in Maui, right? I have so many beautiful memories because my life has always been by design. I have always stepped out on faith. I have always chosen leaning into life instead of being fearful. There's another saying I always say, fearful but forward is better than crappy but comfortable, right? I showed up and I want you to show up. I don't want you to fear taking chances. I don't want you to fear leaning in. I want you to fear the life unfulfilled. If there's one thing that settles with you today, I want you to think about, where does your life feel unfulfilled and what are you going to do about it? Right? That's all I'm asking you to do today. I told you this was gonna be a straight up pep talk. I promised you that it would be. And that's my one takeaway for you guys today. And if growing an amazing travel business is your dream, if you're trying to replicate my life where you get to work and travel and have an amazing, portable, profitable travel business, go check out our free resources. We have a free masterclass right now that you can go take to learn about that. You can go to careersonvacation.com/masterclass. Get that class for free if that's something that you're interested in learning about. If travel's not your thing, I want you to take one step in the direction of where you want to go today. Okay, you know, you're gonna go to chef school, are you gonna learn how to be a better gardener, are you gonna take ballet lessons? I don't know what the thing is. My purpose in life, above and beyond my travel businesses, is to motivate and inspire people to follow their bliss into abundance. So I hope that my story, my personal story, has inspired you guys today. I know it was an emotional one. I am not usually a crier, but it got me today. I think I'd never actually shared that story out loud before, so it was kind of a tough one. But I love you guys so much. I wish you love, abundance, wherever you are. I wish you the world. And I will see you back next Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed the show. I love you guys. Take care.